Hello. How we doing, everybody? We good? Welcome to the I Want to Meet LeBron James podcast. If you've just tuned in, just started watching, following, and this is episode 67 on my quest to meet the GOAT himself. Yeah, I said it. The GOAT himself, claiming it before he even retired, LeBron James. And if you're a regular follower and regular watcher, listener, and stuff like that, this is episode 76, and there was a 75. I put it out, alright. I uploaded it or whatever on my Podbean. It was there. Then a bunch of people messaged me saying it's not out there. So that's one loss forever. I'm sorry. I did what I did. Well, I don't know what you want from me. You know what I mean? It's gone. It was with Tony Degree as well. It was sick. It was the stonedest guest I've ever had in all 76, well, 75 and a half now, apparently, episodes. So you missed out on a bang one. Normally it's me being stoned as hell, but he was actually more stoned than me. It was like I was carrying it. I mean, he was loving it, obviously. I was killing, he was just stoned, really, but either way. And if you're new to this and you've made it so far, thank you. Fucking good on you for listening to a Scouse accent and trying to make aware of it. But I'm Scouse comedian Carl Legacy, and I'm on a mission to meet LeBron before he retires or I die. So we both got about 4 years left, I reckon, in our primes. Well, his prime, my life. But today I'm going to tell you, I've got a few stories. I'm in the video's back, which is great. I'm still waiting on a few more equipment, but I'm on the road studio, which is just my uncle's house, pretty much. But video's back, so that's sick. You can see me. I just had a little hot tub and a sauna then, so I'm looking fucking great. That's what Kevin Hart should have done. Instead of cold as balls, he should have done hot as balls. You know, in a hot tub, he's chilling. That's sick. He's in there with... And he always gets black guests on as well, because no black guest is trying to get in that ice bath and then get out with the smallest dick in the world, for sure. Because, the camera's everywhere. I'll be walking out like this. Fuck that, lad. What the hell? But black people just goes to normal size, and then the camera adds 10 inches, so then it just works out. It's back to normal anyway. So, but yeah, Kevin Hart, if you're lost, get me on there. I'll get on that. I'll just wear the fucking Speedo, boxers, and then swimming shorts laughing. I've already got the Spanx on now, baby. I'm ready to play today. Toon Squad playing tonight with Liverpool Basketball Club, which will be sound. But I'll tell you what I'm going to talk to you about today. I've had a wild weekend in Aberdeen, in Scotland. Didn't get Scottish COVID. Killing it. What else? My gigs in London, so I'll be back in England. What else? London gigs. Wow, some people thought I was black again. Killing it. Quartercast. That's what they told me. Quartercast, apparently. Even though I'm from Liverpool and this is where we build white people, but you know what I mean. I'm even full of black people, so I'm not trying. So it's just not like I'm wearing blackface or not. You know what I mean. I've just got this hair, and apparently they think I'm black, but whatever. And then I've got some gigs coming up this weekend in Glasgow. If anyone can put me up in Glasgow, that would be sick. Because I'm meant to be staying with my mate, Scottish comedian Mick McNeil. Shout out to him. Which sounds like the fakest name ever. That sounds like the name I give to Scottish police when I get arrested. Whose weed is this? And what's your name? I'm Mick McNeil, lad. Who'd you buy it off? William Wallace. I'm not a grass. So I'm going to stay with him. But if anyone on Saturday, I'm doing Rotunda Comedy Club. If any of the listeners want to hit me up, come down, I'll put you on the door and that. We'll get some bevies. I got he's not back from Aberdeen until 2 a.m. So I got to chill until then and then get in the coach back the next day and that. So what else happened? I won a bet. Finally won a bet. Fuck sports bet. Fuck Australia betting apps. You're fucking... That's why. It wasn't even my fault. It's them. They care still. Nothing about fucking proper football, Premier League football and shit like that. I won £100 on I picked on last Saturday's game against... Who was we playing now? 3-0, but not Norwich. We had that the other night. Who was it? Palace. I had Manny anytime, and I had Salah anytime, and then I done and then I picked the score 3-0. So bang. Shout out to Mike Dixon. Thank you for that. He's my new stat man. Honestly, he got me close on the other one with Mamino. He guessed that one and Origi, but I went with Oxlade-Chamberlain just because Baird's fucking a fitty. So I had to go with him. But and he was due a goal. So I won £100 then. I've been on a roll. I've been loving being back home. Really, to be honest, I've slipped right back into Scouse life, fuck Australia, I'm never going back there again. Until January, probably for the pay fringe, because there's still a lot of money to make on it. But yeah, so it's been sick, been watching Benidorm on the couch with me, cousin Ellie and that. It's been alright. On a gig last night in Manchester, in Stockport. I hadn't been back there since I was playing for Liverpool under-18s versus the Stockport Falcons. Whatever fucking noise a falcon makes. Well, there's no falcons in Stockport. They should have been called the Stockport Pigeons or the Stockport Seagulls. Stockport Seagulls would have done better. Well, there's no editing on this podcast, as you know, so all the shit riffs stay in, like, go nowhere. So I hadn't been back to Stockport since 2000, since I was like fucking, since under 18, so like 2007 or something like that, so 2008. And I still remember from years ago, they had this, I've never seen it to this day, it was a basketball, well maybe in like fucking proper arenas and Lakers training facility or whatever, maybe, but if you've seen this, please put it in the comments or whatever, or message me, LeBron James of Comedy on Instagram. Boom, there it is. That was the tax write-off. Tell me if you've played in the gym like this. It was on the second or third floor, alright? So it wasn't on I've only played where it's on the bottom, fucking the earth, the ground floor, you know what I mean? This was on the second floor. And it was weird as fuck, like the out of bounds lines was like this. So like you couldn't do any Dennis Rodman shit and dive for it or nothing like that, you know what I mean? You just literally had to have it, like, you just tipped it in and stuff like that, so if it hit the wall it was out. It was weird. It was about this, and it was like padding as well. You had a bit under the hoop, you like, obviously, so you go up and unders and stuff like that, and so you're not like running for a layup, get the layup and then bang into a wall, you know what I mean? Like, I hate that when you're fucking playing outside, then they have to pose, they put that cushion on it, but it's like, that's not stopping nobody, lad. That's crazy. That's like fucking somebody with AIDS with a condom. It's like, make the shot, shoot your own shot at your own risk, you know what I mean? So a bit of that, but it was like, and then only way I could describe it is like, it was like a mental institution, really, you know, with like padded walls everywhere and all that. It was like that sort of that sort of vibe, like all that sort of like padded walls all the way around it, and then obviously the two hoops and full court and stuff like that. But I think it was a good game, and I think they beat us because I think Stockport Falcons were good back in the day. I mean, any team with a mascot, they better be fucking good. We were just LBC, Liverpool Basketball Club. We were not we could have been the Liverpool Leopards, the Liverpool Lemurs. Well, necessarily it doesn't have to be an L because Stockport went Falcons. We could have been the Liverpool Baddies, which would be sick. That reminds me, I met Paddy, well, didn't meet him, alright, we were in the same room, he put a thumbs up at me, met Paddy the Baddie, shout out to Paddy Pimbleton? See, that's how I fucking know nothing about UFC, I'm a boxing lad, as you know, Tyson Fury paid for this chain, not himself, won it off a bet, but he paid for this, thank you, $400, appreciate it, Tyson Wilder 2 it was, second one, it's not this Saturday, next Saturday, which I'm in Leeds for, but I think I'm getting an overnight one back. And then watching it here, because I think it kicks off maybe at like 5 AM, I want to say, or something. I'm not sure, to be honest. Would it have to be a decent time? Because all the Fury fans are here. Well, nice, worldwide, but all the Fury fans are here anyway. But anyway, so, not really a UFC fan. Paddy Pimblett, I think his name is, you know, the Scouser, who's got the fucking Oasis style, like Justin Bieber fucking hair. I don't know who his barber is, but anyway. Me, Tom Keegan, or comedian James Allen thinks they're Liam Bolton just left. Don't know these comedians, but one day they will all be fucking famous, like me. And they'll be best friends with LeBron. So like, well, I'll be best friends with LeBron. I'll be like, can I get a few plus ones? You know what I mean? He'd be like, yeah, sure. We're BFFs, Carl. And we're for all the Scousers, we're in opposite phase, next door to phase 1, I can't remember what it's, Casamar or something, and like around the corner from the Merchant, and Paddy's like walking there, so I'm like, he's just walking by me, mate's like, that's Paddy the Baddie. I'm like, what? Because he's like, obviously, like, he's quite small, you know what I mean, like, he's like I mean, jacked and ripped and all that, but height-wise, you know what I mean, I'm 6'1" and tons of fun, baby, 6'1" with the hair. That's what I'd be after me telling people. I hate when Tinder, literally the second question, bitch, is like, how tall are you? how tall are you? And I'm like, how many fucking Oompa Loompas have you been catfished by, really? Like, how many fucking Willy Wonka employee of the month staff members have fucked you over with their height, like, literally, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, well, how far are you? How much do you weigh then? Because if we're playing this game, but anyway, I'm 6'1", so I got on a hide anyway. But I say 6'1" with a hair, in case they're like 6'1", but then unmatched, that fucking Godzilla bitch anyway. But, so Paddy Barry's walking by. And then my mate's like, that's Paddy Barry. I'm like, yes. I'm like, that's sick, no way. I'm like, so he's about maybe like, not even that far, 20 feet away from me from at this point. I'm like, yo, Paddy lad, I won money on your bet, nice one. And then he goes, puts his phone up and he's like, sound lad, and then leaves. But that's sick. Spoke to him. That's a conversation. I said something. He answered. You know what I mean? Like that's it. That's literally when I meet LeBron the first time. How you? Hey LeBron. He's like, hey. I'm like, boom. There's the podcast. The shortest podcast in the world, but it's a podcast nonetheless. It's just me 30 minutes before, and I'm like, now a message from LeBron. You want to say hi to the fans? Like, hey, and then boom, cut it off. Thank you for joining. Because when I do finally meet LeBron, then I can stop doing this fucking pod. But I am loving that you guys messaging me, well, pretty much abuse, hate mail. I got a real live action, real live action or real life version of Sideshow Bob sent to me. It was like a cartoon they made into a human from Jamie Taylor, an Aberdeen comedian. So fuck you, you fucking MILF. Well, she upset that, so it's fine. But so I appreciate all the fan mail / mainly hate mail that everybody's been sending me, which has been sick. Yeah, so that was sick meeting. Briefly meeting Paddy the Baddy, and like I said, he was just, I'm assuming he went there. That's a sick bar at Liverpool. He went there all the time anyway. He was with like 3 of his mates that weren't really like, none of them looked like they were paid security, you know what I mean? They were just his mates really, like I'm assuming that he came up with and all that sort of stuff. But he's the new cash cow, baby, so I'm going to watch UFC fights for him. But mainly just for his interviews, really, to be honest. It's a little bit too brutal for me. I'm a non-contact sport lad, you know what I mean? I want to play football. I'm on the bench anyway, so I'm praying somebody doesn't get injured. Don't get me in there, fucking hell. Although at grass states, imagine the amount of grass in here if you go in here, absolutely fucked. But yeah, I was in London. I don't even know. Well, I done a podcast with Tony McGee, a comedian in London, done it at his, stayed in his place in West Drayton, which is a bit outside of London. If ever you go from London, the more it sounds like fucking Game of Thronesy. I don't know if you've realised. But then stay with him, and then on the Thursday, and then on Friday I had a gig in South Kent Comedy Club, and then my boy Mosley came with his new missus, and I always used to stay with Mosley. When I was in London, this is a black lad that I met in Australia, and then, I mean, he's seen me, let's just say, you've seen me bomb all over the world, literally, you know what I mean, like, you've seen me everywhere, like the whole rise and stuff like that. So we do the gig, and it starts at 8 or whatever, so it's downstairs in the basement. I know the host and stuff like that, so she's like, oh yeah, it starts. So like, I'm on first, but I'm like, they'll come get me, you know what I mean? I've got some mates here, they'll come tell us to sit down or whatever, you know what I mean? So me and Mosley are just talking and stuff, and then the bartender just like comes up to me, he's like, are you Kyle? I'm like, and he's like, yeah, you meant to be on. I'm like, well, who are you for a start? What's going on here? Who gave you the fucking lineup? So I'm like, oh shit. So I go down there and I'm like, fucking come with Mosley and all that. And Tony's already down there with his other mate. Didn't tell me nothing, the fucking idiot. Just assumed I was going to go down there. And then, so we go down there, and then, so she's like she's on stage. She's like, oh, Kyle, you almost missed your spot. The Scarlet Dabson, she had it here. She's like, oh, I got a punishment for you. You got to squat me when you're going on stage. You got to squat me before you set, like on stage. So I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, so small anyway, like, but I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, I got bad knees. And then my boy Mosley, who I brought, he's like, and bad hair. I'm like, what? He's got, so I'm like a heckle before I even get on stage. I'm like, you're bored, lad, what the fuck are you talking about? You got no dog in this race, because he is. I'm like, and I bought you? What do you mean? You're a preloaded heckle? While we were eating Nando's, you piece of shit, eyeing me up over the fucking extra hot chicken. I'm about to get him with this in case he's late for stage or whatever. So then I fucking squat the bitch, 10 squats. I'm like, fucking heavy therefore, like, to be honest. So I'm starting to set out of breath. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, imagine you go see Adele And before she starts, she's like, somebody's got to squat me before I sing hello here. Hello, can you squat me? And yeah, so then we do that and talk to this guy in the crowd, Big Rich. Turns out he's a big black lad. Turns out he's porn star, so I mean, I'm cooking, obviously. You know what I mean? I'm killing. All this sort of stuff and shit like that. Asking him tips and all that. I can't even remember what I bloody said now, but I'll have to find it. I didn't even video it, actually. I uploaded the squatting thing, but I didn't even upload that one. But a bunch of questions about, like, obviously Big Rich and he's having a big dick and shit like that. I think I managed. I was like, get it out, shit about it. I was like, nah, if he gets that out, this room's going to be over capacity and we're going to be breaking COVID regulations. And then I think I slipped in a Bernie Mac line or whatever, just for like black people. I was like, if he gets his dick out, this whole room gets dark. Kick it! If you've never seen Bernie Mac, I ain't scared of you motherfuckers. Watch that set. 5 minutes, one of the best sets out there. So then after the show, it sounded like I did fucking me 15 minutes or whatever, and then we watched the rest of the show. And boy Mark O'Keefe comes and stuff like that. And then we're upstairs and stuff like that. And last time I was with, well, not the last time, but one of the times, and mostly we always talk about it when we're together because it's hilarious, in Shoreditch, which is like a cool area and stuff like that. In London, we had some bevies. We met these African American lads. And like I think they were this before COVID, so they were on holiday or whatever, and I had me LeBron James Land jersey. I think LeBron was still at the Cavs then, maybe it was 2018, that's how long ago it was. But I remember it like it was yesterday, baby. I relive it every day when I look at this stupid white face in the mirror. But so we met these lads, and then we were talking about it because they were black and mostly like dark, like African. And then he's like, they're like, oh, what part of Africa are you from? And then he tells them or whatever. I don't know, that bit. There you go, with some shit. Ghana, maybe, actually, to be honest, I don't know. And then he goes to me, like, what part of Africa are you from? Where's your mum or your dad from, or whatever? I'm like, what? Me and Moshe like, what? He's like, are you black? He's like, nah, I'm from Liverpool, that's where we build white people. So I'm like, I'm loving this, I'm hyperventilating, you know what I mean? I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Moshe's like, oh no, Jesus. And then for the whole night, I was walking down the street, it's like, two brothers walking down the street. Let's go, two brothers, baby. And he's like, shut the fuck up. I'm like, we're never gonna get a cab here. No cab stop for us, baby. There you go, straight by. You know what I mean? And then I actually tried it. One stopped. I was like, God damn it, I'm white. But then, so we would tell them that story, and then Big Rich and his boys go, wait, you're not black? And I'm like, oh my God, it's happening again. So I'm like, mostly get over here, because he's over there. And I'm like, get over there. It's like, say that again. He's like, I thought you were quarter cast. I was like, yes. I was like, that's so funny. So he was like, claim it. I was like, I don't think I can. For a start, I don't think it's a thing. But I am definitely naming this episode, I am now quarter cast. Or quarter cast something. So that was sound. Then Leeds, I ended up going to getting a gig at the LOL Comedy Club in that first direct arena, which in the little fucking side room or whatever, but still 130 people. We played Leeds the next day in football. I came out with a Liverpool top. Guns blazing, fucking sick. There was a lad in the crowd. I saw him when he came in, like, but didn't speak to him. Just spotted him. He had tattoos everywhere, fucking neck and all that shit. And then he had like a skinhead, like, but like skin fade or whatever. Then a little bit on top, but it died like bright blue. Just on the top bit, just on this end, like not on the sides or nothing. So I come out. I'm like, how we doing? After the show and all that. I'm like, I never get to make fun of people's hair. Look at this lad here. I was like, he looks like a fucking pool cue. I was like, what you asked for the barbers, mate? You sit down, you're like, can I get the snooker, please, mate? I'm like, what the fuck? And so that's hilarious. I'm like, the boys are laughing, everybody's laughing, and I'm like, do you guys ever hold them on group photos, like hold them horizontally like that, and then you got your little mate dressed in all white next to him like that, like it's a pool cue or something like that? They're laughing, and I'm like, what's the deal with all these tattoos? It's these tattoos. What's the deal with all these tattoos? You got a bunch, lad. What's your plan? And that? Just keep getting them or whatever when you fancy them. And he's like, nah, I want to get them all connected and that. And I'm like, oh, you want to be black? Is that what you're saying? You just want to you want black skin? Is that what you're saying? And then there's another guy there in the front row. He's like 6'4" or whatever. He used to play basketball. I think I was talking to him about it. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm a land surveyor. I'm like, well, that's fucking great for you then, isn't it? You're like, hey mate, can you see over that bloody hill for us? Like, I've got you, lad, don't worry. Just looks over there. Oh yeah, just more land, you know what I mean? Just I can see it as far as the land. I can see as far as the land goes. You know what I mean? Easy job. You just walk in, bit of land there, bit of land. See you later, guys. I'm off. Surveyed. So that was sound, and then let's cut forward to this. Last Thursday I played for my team, my old team again, which was sick. That I'm playing with tonight. So that was sick. Shout out to LBC boys. I'll see you tonight at Crocky, 7 to 9, lad, at De La Salle Academy. So let's get that popping. But I had a tactical spew last week actually, because I had a few bevies the night before, and then I smashed like raspberry Powerade. You need to know the flavour, could it'll come back to the story. Just running, they have a door open, so I'm running and all that, and then I don't know, I think I hit a layup or whatever, and then after that I'm like, oh, so I'm not in attack mode. I'm like, my body's like, you're dying. So I'm like, fuck, I just like sub, and just go out the door, just tactical spew. It's fucking raspberry, that's what I'm saying. It's all purple and shit like that. Tactical spew. Holy hell! The other guys. And then tactical spew, and then come back. Then come back in. missed that bit of the event, came back in. How you doing, outlet, baby? Fast break. There you go. JaVale McGee style. Shaking hands. Oh, not JaVale, but it was a J.R. Smith shaking hands to Jason Terry style when he's in the game and stuff like that. It was sick. But and then I went to Aberdeen and didn't get fucking COVID, even though Scotland's gone crazy. So my boy Ross McFarlane, the Maverick, if you will, he was there. I don't know if you've ever been to Aberdeen. It's fucking far up north as you can go. It looks like Ballymorey, alright? I don't know if you know the TV show. What's the story in Ballymorey, would you like to know? It looks like Ballymorey, but with more heroin. So yeah, it's a lot slower. Just like slow down Ballymorey and then slow down Train Spot, and you'd be like, alright, this here we go. So we done that gig there at Aberdeen Comedy Club. That was sound. We went out after it, and some sick, it was like half castle, half pub thing. It was fucking mad. Like, obviously it's a small town, so there's like one club, few pubs and stuff like that. So went to like Brewdog and all that stuff, and then we went to I can't even remember what it was called, but I had a stamp on my hand for ages. Remember when you get the stamp? It said no cunts on it. So I'm like, that's funny, you know what I mean? So we went in there, and it was sick, a bunch of women everywhere. The lines were getting worse, I was getting drunk. Like one time, there was some girl walking in looking for somebody. I was like, you looking for somebody? She's like, what? I'm like, oh, because you can come wait with us or whatever. And she's like, what? I'm like, I don't even know. That's what I said to her. I was like, I don't even know what I'm saying. Bought some other girls' drinks, but then lost them in the dance floor. Like, literally lost one of them small as fuck, cute as hell. Language barrier was out of control, though. She might have been Swedish or some shit. I don't even know what the fuck. She might have ordered I don't know, I'm trying to think of a fucking girl drink now. Prosecco, but she got a Heineken. Alright, that's all I had. No, I had Peroni. She said Prosecco, I had Peroni. That's how bad the language barrier was. Then the next day I had to get the fucking 10:35 flight. Like, we were dying. We would have gone in like 4, like drinking double jacks and that on that flight the next day, dying. Then got back here too, and then I had to meet the lads, and then we met Paddy that night. So that was all sound, you know what I mean. But let's get on to some meeting LeBron and some basketball news, all right? Because the jump's over. The jump's been cancelled. Milicandra's getting a new show, NBA Today in the NBA or some shit, whatever. It's not better than LeBron. I want to meet LeBron James. Video podcast. Yes, so happy we got the video back. And the next episode's going to look even sicker. So thank you for putting up with this. And then obviously audio, where it normally is. Well, I mean, fingers crossed, because we're looking last week. But yeah, thanks for watching and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, because LeBron James, after we beat AC Milan, Liverpool did, sorry, not me, even though I'm part of the team, I guess, you know, all fans are, we always say that, innit? We won last night, tough loss for us, you know what I mean? Were you in the game? Nah, but, you know, that's why I hate when grown men put their name on the back of a football jersey. Or it doesn't really happen that much in basketball jerseys, because you can't really buy a basketball jersey without a name on the back, you know what I mean? Like with football, most of my all my football jerseys don't have names on the back, like even like Salah and current players, stuff like that, they're always playing, you know what I mean? But with basketball jerseys, you'd always get someone on there, because it would just be weird if I didn't have the number there, you know what I mean? LeBron, he's gone back to 6, need to get that jersey. The 6 God baby is back. Even though fucking my Canadian friend saying that was his from Drake. I'm like, again, did he play the dickhead? They gave him a ring for Raptors. He's got a Curry and a Durant tattoo, and he used to sit courtside at the Heat. So pick a fucking team, Drake. Certified fucking glory boy is what you are. Certified glory boy. And what was I fucking talking about then? I can't even remember. Oh yeah, I hate when lads, grown men get the name on the back of it. Because when you're a kid, that's alright. You get Harmwell or a nickname, Harney, Legacy. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But then when you're grown, because when you're a kid, like maybe you might have aspirations, you still get a chance to make it there. You know what I mean? Like even if you're a fat kid, like this kid probably lose weight, or they put him in goal or something. I don't know. Fucking even if he looks like John Barnes looks like now. But when adults do it, it's like, well, you never played. You're never going to play. Fuck you. What are you talking about? So so that was my little rant on grown men putting their names on the back, I guess. What was everybody talking about then? So yeah, LeBron, well, I see, as you know, he owns some Liverpool and Liverpool fan, you know what I mean? Like, and he shared a picture of Trent celebrating in the AC Milan game, and he's like, you'll never walk alone. He always does it on Twitter. I don't have Twitter, but people always send me the screenshots, and my cousin Jay and Mike Dixon. I get Mike Dixon getting shout out for days, and he fucking, I haven't even given Adam Gray a shout out either, you fucking dickhead. Almost forgot about you, lad. We were thick as thieves when we were there. Then I come back from Liverpool, and I'm like, ooh, what's that fat lad that was hanging out with me, that Scottish piece of shit, the whole time. We had some fucking good times, so it's good watching football at a decent time, not fucking 3 a.m. kickoffs with you. It's kicking off in the casino, and I'm getting kicked out the casino at the same time. So you fucking figure that out, Adam. But yeah, and he shared it about Liverpool. I'm sure LeBron didn't watch the game because it was actually Trent. There was no goal. It didn't even give it to Trent. So so you didn't watch the game, lad. But you obviously checked the score, and I appreciate that. So that's good shit. But that's my in with LeBron. Obviously, like if I'm not gonna be like, oh, I love your basketball. I mean, I fucking do, obviously, you know what I mean? The best player in the world, like I said earlier, the GOAT. But everybody's going to talk about that. I'm going to be like, oh, you see the game last night? You'd be like, what, we NBA? I'm like, nah, fucking EPL, what are you talking about, lad? I'd be like, Trent was on fire last night, and Trent, fun fact for you, Trent, older brother, I'm not going to say his name, well, fuck it, Tyler, Tyler Alexander-Arnold, he used to sell me weed in Auckland College, so that's sick. Another claim to fame. The 6 degrees of separation, lad. Trent, no, Trent's brother. Trent knows it was head of LeBron, LeBron's head of Trent. There you go, degrees of separation. But yeah. So when I meet him, I'll be like, fucking, let's go. And then obviously here's the accent and all that sort of stuff. And then I know me football, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So it's sick. And I probably fucking wear the jersey when I meet him and all that sort of stuff like that. After the basketball one underneath and stuff like that. Rip off pants in case he wants to play. That's why I got the Spanx, baby. The Spanx. But yeah, that's what I assume me and him will be talking a shitload about Liverpool Football Club when I meet him. And then one day, hopefully, he keeps buying more shares and stuff like that. And I meet him, and then through him, I'm like, come fucking Liverpool, let's watch your game. You're going to get tickets. Get to meet all Liverpool players and stuff like that. It's going to be fucking sick. We're going to open that door for us. Back to current basketball news, though. Could I haven't thought of a way, I've been too busy this week to thought of a way to meet LeBron. I've thought about what would the talking points of that sound. But if you can, as always, any ideas, dumb, stupid, real, put them in the on the piano. Put them in the comments for us, which would be sound. Ben Simmons, spoiled little fucking Australian brat. He didn't want to play for the Olympics. I don't understand that because, like, I mean, they won the medal this year, the first medal the country's ever won, and with him, they were definitely winning it, you know what I mean? Maybe not a silver or a gold, but bronze still, you know what I mean? And and then he should be in next time, I guess, because, but then it's not going to be a weaker team, I reckon, because I don't know any young Australian draft prospects coming in, and like Paddy Mills is probably aging out, Joe Ingles and stuff like that. Well, I might be in the team or whatever, you know what I mean, but Paddy Mills was like, he's not going to have the year he had this in 3 years, you know what I mean, unless Brooklyn Nets reinvent his career, gets him money. Not that reinvented, but I mean, like, he's obviously not starting there, you know what I mean, 6-man role and stuff like that, like Pop had him down. Like I reckon he could have started for the Spurs. He could have started really, you know what I mean. The few MVT teams he could have started on. My boy Paddy Mills, Aboriginal lad, shout out. And fucking love me some Aboriginal women, don't I? I don't know what it is about them. I mean, I love black women in general, but Aboriginal women, I've got a fucking thing for them or something. I mean, some of my exes have been Aboriginal, shout out to me, obviously. But yeah, I don't know what it is about them anyway, but fucking love them. Just perfect shade of black for me, and then, I don't know. Anyway, I'm not going to go into it, I'm not going to start getting fucking chubby here. I get it about that. But yeah, Ben Simmons, he's sitting out now for the 76ers, I guess, for the rest of the season or whatever. I guess. He said he's not going to train in camp, and he said he's never going to play for them again. But this, in my mind, this kind of, I think it's hurting his trade value, really, to be honest. Even though, like, because people still, even though he had a great season, like, in the I had him as defensive player of the year, really, to be honest, just because I'd rather have that than fucking Gobert again and all that stuff, you know what I mean? And then Anthony Davis didn't play enough and stuff, so I would like to see a guard win it again, being Gary Payton the only point guard to ever win it and stuff like that. Or at least the last one. Maybe ever, actually. I know Jordan got as a shooting guard and all that, but I think Payton is the glove, which is a sick nickname, the glove, especially if you're the defender, was the only point guard to get it. But again, fucking, I'm not fact checking this, so you fucking do it for me, put it in the comments. So that, but everybody just remembers the playoffs where he fell apart and stuff like that, giving away the open dunk, all that sort of stuff. But he needs to play. I feel like he's got the money. I guess he should have played in the Olympics. Should be playing now. Like Harden still, like, you know what I mean. He was at this time last year. It was Quavo's birthday or the babies in Vegas and stuff like that. But he did show up in the end, and then he got a trade. You know what I mean. So he got what he wanted in the end and stuff like that. So now they're looking at the only really thing they could do. They were thinking like John Wall for him, and then like just a shitload of picks. And John Wall is still nice, but I mean, it's still less of a player than Ben Simmons, and he's an older player, and I think his contract's probably even more than Ben Simmons, really. And then you've got what's going on now, I think, at the Kings is maybe Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley the third, which I always didn't mind, even though they picked up before Luka. They're going to fucking live to regret that, fucking idiots. And then a bunch of picks again, which you don't really need a Buddy Hield because you got a Steph Curry, really, you know what I mean? They're both like just 3-point shooters. Like Buddy Hield can play the shot a bit better, I guess, but I mean Steph Curry's got Stephen Curry's blood running through him, so he's a big shot maker, a big shot taker, and yeah. So and then Marvin Bagley, I guess you get a power forward, you get a starting power forward. That's where I would play him, and then I'd have Ted Bias as like a small forward, like a 3 or 4 maybe, and then Steph, and then you need your point guard, then Embiid, obviously, like the so yeah, I still like the Tobias Harris is still there and stuff like that. I mean, Jimmy Butler is the epitome of heat culture, but he should never have left that. Welcome. That's enough Ben Simmons. I'm sick of whatever. Just pick up the ball and play. You're playing in the NBA. Like, stop being, it's your 4th, 5th year or whatever. Stop being some fucking fussy 3-time All-Star and that. Like, come on. Play the game, like, and the process, like, nobody's talking about this. Trae Young single-handedly ended the process, like he did, you know what I mean, he beat them, and then the end of trust the process, definitely not, don't trust Trae Young's barber on his hairline, but I trust his hairline over the fucking process now, I'd say. DeAndre Jordan, welcome to the Lakers as well, lad, I gotta say that, you know what I mean, he's younger than Stephen Curry, people forget that, so he's still got him and Dwight playing 20 minutes, a game. AD probably ended in center for the last minute. You know what I mean? That's perfect. They both do the same thing. Catch lobs, rim protector, veteran, locker room guy, I assume, and obviously the tenacity and they want to win and stuff like that. And then he's got some of Brooklyn Nets secrets being there and stuff, or at least the rants and stuff like that. And then LeBron's got some Kyrie stuff and all that sort of stuff. That's about it. That's all I think all I wanted to talk about. Whatever, hitting the 35-minute mark now, which is who we got? Oh, Kevin Durant, I guess. No, I can't end it on bloody Kevin Durant's number, can I? 35, who was bloody 35? It's 34, but it's Paul Pierce, I guess we'll end it on that. Because I hated him at the Boston, but love that he's smoking weed now and do whatever he wants. And he was in the Hall of Fame, so it's a shout out to that. And this podcast one day will be in the podcast Hall of Fame. But add me on Instagram, LeBron James of Comedy, and just for my Instagram stories, because literally, they're sick. Literally, it's just me because I'm getting stoned and shit. It's like, if you ever want to watch Anchorman through a poorly megapixel phone instead of just watching it on your TV properly, then this is the Instagram for you. Today, Norbit we watched last night, bit of Benidorm, fucking killed it. But I'm Carl Legacy. See you later, I guess. Until we meet again, I'll be uploading next week with better light and all that stuff. But see you later in a bit. You'll never walk alone.